I'm Harry Moser from Agi Charme, George Fisher Agi Charme. That's a Lincolnshire, Illinois-based company, which is actually the U.S. subsidiary or North American subsidiary of a Swiss company, Agi Charme, part of George Fisher. And we sell machine tools, EDM machines and high-speed milling machines in U.S., Canada, and now all the way down through South America. But the reason I'm here at Westec is to promote reshoring in general and the reshoring fair in particular. So reshoring means bringing work back to the United States, bringing work that has been offshored by U.S.-based factories to China, to India, to Mexico, to somewhere, bringing that work back to the United States so that U.S. shops will make it, which will bring jobs back to the U.S. If we could do that and entirely balance the U.S. trade deficit before the Great Recession was about $800 billion a year. If we could balance that entirely by bringing work back to the U.S., it would bring back about 5 million jobs to the U.S. just in manufacturing. And then there's all the related jobs, the service support jobs, the salesmen, all kinds of things around that, lawyers, doctors. We would probably add about 7 million of those jobs. So in total, we could have as many as 12 million jobs back in the United States, which would take unemployment down to perhaps 4 or 5%. It would come close to balancing the U.S. budget deficit. The world would be, at least the United States world, would be a dramatically better place. So again, with the reshoring fair, we're asking companies to reshore, to consider bringing the work back. Big companies to look at what we call total cost of ownership. So instead of just looking at the ex-works price or FOB price, the purchase price in China versus the U.S. price, to make sure they've added in all the other costs like duty, freight, packaging, the interest on the inventory while it's coming across the country, quality differentials, risk on intellectual property, regulatory concerns, all these things that typically the big companies do not add in. And we believe that when they add that in and calculate a total cost of ownership, that they'll decide that a substantial portion of the work that they've decided to offshore actually should be reshored. And so at the fair, we're putting together those big companies with smaller companies who can quote the work here in the U.S. and bring it in for the big companies at a lower total cost of ownership, which will be to the advantage of the big companies, obviously also the advantage of the small companies, and for all Americans.